Hello Madridistas and welcome to Planet Real, the place for all things Real Madrid. The European Championship is on the way and we want to take a look at our players' performance. Let's see what the participating Real Madrid stars have done and will be doing right before the semi-finals. Let's get it on with the video. So the semi-finals for the top European competition are here, and all teams but one have Real Madrid players on their rosters, with the only exception being the Netherlands. The squads representing France, England and Spain all have at least one Real Madrid player. This also means that many of our guys are already taking a well-deserved rest and preparing for the pre-season that will start on July the 31st, when the 2024 North American Tour begins with a match against AC Milan in Chicago. Luka Modric and Andre Lunin have been recharging energies since the end of the group phase, and more recently Arda and Antonio Loco Rudiger went home after Turkey and Germany were sent off. The tournament left different readings for each of these players. Lunin's tournament was one to forget about. He did a terrible performance in Ukraine's first game against Romania and was relegated to the bench in the next two matches. Andre was far from the keeper he was during the last season and was pointed out as the main responsible for his team's defeat. Lunin's future isn't clear at all right now since his renewal hasn't been settled. He has a contract until 2025 and the club has to renew it to avoid seeing him leave for free next year. Lunin's agent is the very famous Jorge Mendes, who has a reputation for being a tough one and always putting money as his first priority. In the meantime, the club wants to retain Lunin, but it's keeping an eye on Kepa, on whom it still has a transfer option after his loan last season, and Joan Garcia, a 23-year-old keeper who just finished an outstanding season with Real Club Deportivo Español. Luka Modric on his side had a tough European Championship. Croatia didn't show their best version and was unable to win a single game. One loss against Spain and two draws against Albania and Italy left Croatia with only 2 points, which weren't enough to take them to the round of 16. Luka was criticized by some and accused of being a shadow of himself, but in my opinion, it was more a matter of a Croatian squad that was not properly prepared for the competition. The team as a whole lacked speed and was weak defensively. I think Modric played correctly and gave all he had as usual, and we have to consider his age. I think he did a good job. Nonetheless, it wasn't enough. It was a very emotional moment when he missed a penalty kick in the game against Italy, and even more when he scored minutes later. But again, the team lacked consistency and was unable to maintain the lead against a very frail Italy. Luka is supposed to extend his contract one more year and join the club for the start of the preseason. Antonio Rudiger did a good job for the most part, although at moments he struggled against fast players. But let's not forget he had a huge load of work with Real Madrid last season, and I think it might have something to do with it. Now he will have a few weeks to recover, and hopefully Ancelotti will take it easy on him during the preseason, as well as with other players returning from the European Championship. Now when it comes to our golden boy Arda, we are in front of a story to be told. He was by far the most prominent piece of the Turkish machine. A team that was very disordered defensively but had in Arda a player who seemed to do everything right. He displayed his talent at every chance with magnificent passes, crosses, and defensive commitment when needed. He completed 163 out of 184 passes for an outstanding 81.1% effectiveness. He scored 1 goal and gave 2 assists. The way he treats the ball is a delight to see. All this while just being 19 years old. I'll tell you, if Arda remains disciplined and focused, we should be set to witness an impressive career developing in front of our eyes. One of the things that I liked the most was seeing how well he keeps performing as he gets further away from the rival area. His input to the team doesn't go down at all, and he manages to adapt and generate game whatever the situation is. If I had to pick the most valuable impression I got from this whole tournament, it would be the certainty that Arda will be capable of elevating Real Madrid's game as a striker or as a midfielder if Ancelotti decides to place him in the middle of the field. This will be very important as we have a lot of choices in the first line of attack with Vinicius Jr., Kylian Mbappe, Rodrigo, Brahim Diaz, and Endrick. I know we also have lots of options for the midfield, but Arda is such a special player that knowing that you can count on him in more than one position can only be good news for Real Madrid. As for the players that remain in competition, we have the Frenchmen, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Mendy, and Kylian Mbappe, all of them set to face Spain, where only Dani Carvajal represents Real Madrid, as Nacho and Joselu were already transferred to their new teams. Carvajal will miss the semi-final though, because of that double yellow card he got in the polemical match against Germany. Yes, polemical match. Mendy hasn't seen any minutes on the pitch so far. Camavinga has played 138 minutes, Tchouaméni 381, and Mbappe 374 minutes. Mbappe, by the way, is dealing with his nose injury. A lot is being said about the possibility that he would have to get surgery. He has been showing discomfort while wearing the mask. However, Pablo Casas, an experienced medical doctor who specializes in rhinoplasty, has been quoted by the Spanish newspaper ABC saying that after 21 days his nose bones should be just like before the incident. He said, and I quote, "The players who have undergone surgery with me were training without a mask after 15 days. The risk no longer exists. It is only a question of aesthetics if he wants to touch up something, but internally, his bones are as they were before the blow." End quote. So, at this point, we can only wonder how much longer they will make Mbappe wear the mask if it is not needed and with so much in play. It could also be, and that's only my thought here, that Mbappe is a little scared of his injury worsening. In that case, it will be up to him to decide if he's willing to sacrifice comfort for a sense of security. Anyway, the France-Spain semi-final promises to be an interesting match to watch. France hasn't shown its best side so far, in my opinion, and Spain has been effective, but I still see some defensive weakness in them. And well, they have Morata, which is always a handicap. Finally, we have Jude Bellingham with England that will be playing against the Netherlands. England, the same as Spain and France, has managed to make it this far despite their coach doing everything possible to not make it happen. One thing I'm noticing in this European Championship, as well as in the Copa America, is the low level of their coaches. More than ever. I don't know if it is because we are used to Ancelotti and the way he reads matches, which is usually more right than wrong, and there are other great coaches in the European club competition. But these guys, Southgate seems to live in a world inside his head, same as De La Fuente with Spain. I think the subject is enough to make a whole other video, and I'll probably do it, but Southgate's performance has been laughable at times. In any case, he's got great players and they have managed to get the job done. Bellingham has proven to be ready to take the wheel of a team, and I look forward to him doing just that in Real Madrid now that it will be much needed as Toni Kroos has retired. He has played more minutes than any Real Madrid player in the competition and has managed to get an admirable 88.9% passing effectiveness. A pretty good number that can only get some shadow if compared to an exceptional, one-of-a-kind Toni Kroos who's got a 95% passing accuracy in the competition. A crazy superhuman stat, especially if you consider how much he intervenes in the game and the position he played. Anyway, England will face a rival that is far from the legend of its history. But hey, This will be an European Championship semi-final, so anything could happen, and at this point, history could start playing a role. If I had to take my chances on predicting the results, I think France and England should advance to the final. That if their managers mess as little as possible, especially Southgate. But let's not forget De La Fuente is another one of his own kind, and the Champs has been losing it recently too. You know, with that in mind, maybe the Netherlands have a shot despite being, in theory, the weakest team. If Koeman keeps his head on and takes advantage of his colleagues' short-sighted stubbornness, we might have a surprise. Let me know what you think in the comments. Who do you see winning these matches? Will Southgate give another masterclass on how to make a great team play poorly? Should Mbappe keep on wearing the mask if it makes him feel more comfortable when going into a challenge? Write it down and don't forget to like and subscribe. Support our players, send them good vibes, and you guys stay safe. A la Madrid!